reached the end of camp over in Spain. Been a successful trip?
Yeah, I'd like to think so, Phil. I think, from a footy perspective especially, we've got plenty of work in, probably a little bit more than we would have got done at home. Obviously the weather in England over the last couple of months has stopped us getting on a decent grass surface for a while, so to be able to get every session on a good pitch, a good full-size pitch, has been really helpful. But training numbers we've had, the application from the boys really, and the intensity in which they've attacked things. We've improved some of our bits we needed to improve during the week, and I couldn't ask for any more from the players really in terms of what they've given us on field.
There's been a lot of work done off the field as well, a lot of meetings as well.
Yeah, an unusual amount of meetings really. Obviously we've spent a fair bit of time last year, I guess, trying to establish a culture what we think is befitting for Leeds Rhinos, but also one that works for this group. So we've spent a fair bit of time working on ourselves off the field, and been some really productive meetings in that, just opening the boys up, setting our standards, giving ourselves the climate where we're happy to give and receive feedback to each other in the right manner. And at times, as you've seen, there's been some pretty emotional stuff behind the scenes as well. So really productive, and again, it wouldn't work without the boys committing to that with the right attitude.
It's been obvious to see that how much each of the players cares for each other. Sometimes you forget about the man behind the rugby player and you focus too much on what happens on the field.
Yeah, you do, and what you find out is you tend to see that in a game. When the games are tough, and in the heat of battle, and it's bodies on the line and making extra efforts. It's that sort of deep camaraderie. Working for each other, having each other's backs, what can be the difference. So we'd love to create that and make it as strong as possible. As I said, we're always mindful of speaking to the players about what sort of camp they want, what sort of culture and environment they feel is one that can help us win. And I say they've been really well committed to that this week.
Is there anyone in particular who stood out for you on camp, who's really put their hand up?
I think it's been difficult to find any individuals. I think as a team, wholly we've performed really well. I think, looking in, if there's an established, I won't say pecking order, but probably a 13 or 15 or 17 that may well start the season. I probably look at the people outside that group and look at the way they've driven training this week. When we've gone team on team, the competitive nature and the intensity of the games we've done has really driven the quality up of the work. So, a big rap to Callum McLean and Richie Miley that are going opposite Luke Gale and Rob Louis for marshalling those troops and delivering some real quality offence again, against the team defence. But no, it's been good for the new guys, for Matty Pryor and Rhys Evans to very quickly work out our style of play and roles and responsibilities and accountability in certain situations. But it's very, very difficult to pick out a standout person. I think everybody's been great.
Looking to the immediate future, Bradford Bulls on Sunday, a sellout crowd at Emerald Head, and it's going to be an emotional day. Real
emotional day. We've had an emotional week behind the scenes at times, and we know it's going to be an emotional day for everyone concerned at the weekend. The crowd, it looks like it's going to be a sellout, which is quite unbelievable really, and I think that shows the depth of feeling in the rugby league community, and I think the appreciation of everybody's got of Rob Burrows and Jonesy. So we want to repay that, but emotion, for us, we need to find the right balance in emotion to make sure that our performance is about that, delivering what we need to do around systems and around our teamwork, with the right level of emotion.
You've been naming a strong team. It's an important hit out for the boys with the season less than a month away now.
Yeah, and again, we think that's important. We've factored the trial games in as part of our progress and development through pre-season. When you go team on team against each other, there's nothing that replicates it like playing against opposition. So, we want to go as strong as we can for our next two trial games and try and get the boys, as ready and prepared for round one as we can.
In terms of your preparations, that whole game now very much on the horizon. You're pleased with where you are at this stage?
Yeah, really pleased. Still, still a good 3 weeks away from it, so a lot of work to cover, and the 2 games will give us a really good indicator of where we're at. And obviously Bradford this week, and then Super League opposition the week after, and Wigan away, which should prove a tough fixture. So we'll get a good read on where we're at there. But pre-season games are that too. Good practice, see what's working, see what you need to brush up on, ready for the real thing. In about 3 weeks' time.
Just finally, a word on Rob Burrow. Since the news before Christmas, there's been a huge outpouring of support for Rob, and the sellout crowd on Sunday is part of that as well. It's fantastic to see the backing he's had.
Yeah, no words can't really describe the shock of what's happened. The response has been nothing short of magnificent. We've seen responses like this before within our sport. Obviously, I'm thinking about Steve Prescott and the way everybody rallied around Steve, but what Steve then produced, and I think the way Rob himself has attacked it, stayed positive, but the support he's got, it's very difficult to describe, the overwhelming nature of the response that the game, and I think the public at large is produced for a guy that he's just simply not got a bad bone in his body.